Good evening. The lights inside the Newman ranch were dim, but the tension burning beneath the surface could have lit the entire estate. Outside, thunder rolled across the dark Kansas sky. Inside, the young and the restless history was about to explode. Adam Newman stood near the fireplace, one hand gripping a half-finished glass of bourbon while his jaw tightened with every passing second. Across the room, Victor Newman remained seated in silence, studying his son with the cold precision of a chess master preparing his next move. "You've been distracted for days," Victor finally said. Adam laughed bitterly. Funny coming from the man hiding half the truth from his own family. Victor narrowed his eyes. "That tone won't help you." "No," Adam snapped, "but maybe honesty would." The room froze. For weeks, Adam had sensed something was wrong with Nick Newman. Calls that stopped the moment Adam entered a room. Secret meetings. Whispered conversations with people Nick usually despised. Even more suspicious was Sharon's strange behavior every time Nick's name came up. Something was happening, and Adam intended to uncover it. Victor slowly rose from his chair. "You need to stop obsessing over your brother." Adam smirked. "That's rich. Since when does this family survive by ignoring secrets?" Victor said nothing. That silence told Adam everything. There was something Victor already knew, and that only pushed Adam closer to the edge. "I'm done being treated like the unstable one," Adam growled. "Everyone lies in this family. The only difference is, when I uncover the truth, suddenly I'm the villain." Victor's expression hardened. "Careful, son." But Adam was already walking away, because tonight he planned to get answers, no matter what it cost. Across town, Nick Newman parked outside Crimson Lights and checked his phone for the third time in less than a minute. A message flashed across the screen. "Don't bring anyone." Nick immediately locked the phone and slid it into his jacket, but he never noticed the figure watching him from across the street. Adam. Hidden beneath the shadows near the alleyway, Adam watched every movement carefully. Nick looked nervous, not guilty, terrified, and that made Adam even more suspicious. Nick stepped out of the car carrying a black leather bag Adam had never seen before. It looked heavy, important. Adam's pulse quickened. "What are you hiding, Nick?" he whispered. Nick hurried into the coffee house. Adam waited exactly 30 seconds before following. Inside, the atmosphere felt wrong instantly. Too quiet. Too tense. Nick sat in the far corner booth speaking to a man Adam didn't recognize. The stranger wore a grey coat and baseball cap, pulled low over his face. Adam stayed hidden near the entrance. He couldn't hear everything, but he heard enough. "Can't let Victor find out," Nick whispered. The stranger nodded. "And Adam?" Nick hesitated. "He especially can't know." Adam's face darkened. The anger hit instantly. Of course, another secret, another plan involving him. Nick handed the man an envelope from the black bag. Cash. A lot of it. Adam's breathing became heavier. The stranger quickly stood and exited through the back door. Nick remained seated, rubbing his forehead anxiously. Adam wanted to storm over immediately, but instinct told him to wait. Nick eventually grabbed the leather bag and headed outside. Adam followed again, this time closer. Nick drove toward the Newman Enterprises parking garage downtown. By the time he parked underground, rain hammered the concrete structure like gunfire. Nick stepped out carrying the bag. Adam stayed behind one of the pillars, watching carefully. Then something unexpected happened. Nick received another call. "You have to trust me," Nick said quietly into the phone. "I'm handling it." Pause. "No, Adam still doesn't know." Another pause. "I said I'll protect him." Adam frowned. "Protect him? From what?" Nick paced while talking. That's when Adam saw it. Nick had left the bag partially unzipped inside the SUV, and inside the opening, a photograph. Adam's photograph. His heartbeat stopped. Without thinking, Adam moved. Fast. Silent. He reached the vehicle while Nick's back remained turned during the call. Adam slowly opened the bag. Then his entire world shattered. Inside were documents, medical files, photographs, bank records, and one single folder labeled Adam Newman, Confidential. Adam's hands trembled as he opened it. The first page nearly made him sick. Psychiatric evaluations, private reports, records from years ago after his breakdown in Kansas. But that wasn't the shocking part. The final page carried a recent date. Someone had reopened the investigation into Adam's mental health. And according to the papers, there was discussion about declaring Adam psychologically unstable again. His vision blurred with rage. "No," he whispered. Then he saw another photograph. Sharon, talking to Nick outside a clinic. Another document. Recommendations for temporary custody protections involving Christian. Adam's chest exploded with fury. "They're trying to take my son." At that exact moment, Nick ended the call and turned around. Their eyes locked instantly. Everything changed. Nick's face drained of color. "Adam." Adam held up the folder slowly. "What the hell is this?" Nick froze. Rain echoed through the parking garage. "Give me the bag," Nick said carefully. Adam laughed, dark and unstable. "You were investigating me?" "It's not what you think." "Then explain why my psychiatric records are sitting in your car." Nick stepped forward cautiously. "Adam, calm down." That was the wrong thing to say. Adam snapped. "Don't tell me to calm down." His scream thundered through the garage. Nick immediately realized the situation was spiraling. "This was supposed to help you." "Help me?" Adam roared. "You're building a case against me." "No." "Liar!" Adam shoved Nick violently backward. Nick hit the SUV hard. "Listen to me," Nick shouted. "Victor hired people to reopen those files." Adam froze for half a second. "What?" Nick took a breath. "He thinks you're becoming unstable again. I was trying to stop him." Adam stared at him. But years of betrayal had already poisoned his ability to trust anyone. "You expect me to believe that?" "It's true." Adam looked back at the folder. His hands shook uncontrollably. Then he found another document, one that changed everything again. A transfer authorization, signed by Victor Newman. Adam's eyes widened. Nick stepped forward carefully. "I took the files before they could be submitted officially." Adam's breathing grew uneven. Victor, his own father. Again. Always controlling. Always deciding who deserved power, who deserved love, who deserved to stay in the family. And suddenly all the pain Adam spent years burying came rushing back at once. "You all think I'm crazy," Adam whispered. Nick softened slightly. "No, we think you're hurting." Adam looked up with pure fury. "There's a difference." Nick reached for the folder. "Give it to me. We'll figure this out together." But Adam pulled away. "You knew." "I found out yesterday. And you didn't tell me. I was trying to protect you from Victor." Adam's voice cracked. "You should have come to me first." Nick's expression filled with guilt. "I know." That should have calmed things down. Instead, it made everything worse, because Adam suddenly realized something devastating. Nick hadn't trusted him either. Not completely. Not enough. The betrayal cut deep. Too deep. "You think I'm dangerous," Adam muttered. Nick shook his head immediately. "No. You all do. Adam, even Sharon." Nick's silence lasted 1 second too long, and Adam saw the truth. The explosion came instantly, Adam lunged forward and punched Nick directly across the face. The sound echoed brutally through the garage. Nick stumbled hard against the vehicle, blood appearing near his lip. "Adam!" But Adam couldn't stop. Years of rage poured out all at once. "You stole my life!" Adam shouted. "Every single time I try to rebuild myself, this family destroys me again." Nick recovered enough to grab Adam's arms. "Get a hold of yourself!" Adam shoved him away violently again. Nick hit the ground this time. The folder scattered across the wet concrete floor. Documents flew everywhere. Psychiatric reports, custody recommendations, confidential Newman records. Nick looked horrified. "Stop!" But Adam was spiraling. "I should have known," Adam hissed. "None of you ever believed I could change." Nick slowly stood again. "You're proving Victor right now." The words landed like gasoline on fire. Adam's eyes turned ice cold. "What did you just say?" Nick instantly regretted it, but it was too late. Adam punched him again, harder. Nick crashed into a concrete pillar with terrifying force. For one horrifying moment he didn't move. Adam froze. Reality suddenly crashed back into him. "Nick?" Blood trickled down the side of Nick's forehead. Adam stepped closer carefully. "Nick!" Nick groaned weakly, but before Adam could react further, a voice screamed across the garage. "Oh my God!" Sharon. She had just arrived, and what she saw horrified her completely. Nick bleeding, Adam standing over him, papers scattered everywhere. "Adam, what did you do?" Adam immediately stepped backward. "It's not—" But Sharon rushed to Nick's side instantly. Nick slowly opened his eyes. "I'm okay." "You're bleeding." Adam looked destroyed. This wasn't supposed to happen. Sharon glared at him with heartbreak and fury mixed together. "You lost control again." That sentence shattered him more than the fight itself. Because deep down, Adam feared she was right. Security alarms suddenly echoed nearby. Someone had reported the disturbance. Adam panicked. Nick looked up weakly. "Adam, leave." "What?" "Before security gets here." Adam stared at him in disbelief. Even after everything, Nick was still protecting him. Sharon looked stunned too. "Nick, are you serious?" Nick wiped blood from his mouth painfully. "Just go, Adam." Adam's emotions twisted violently between guilt and rage. He wanted to apologize. He wanted to scream. Instead, he backed away slowly. But before leaving, he looked directly at Sharon. "Ask Victor about the files," he said quietly. Then he disappeared into the storm. 1 hour later, the Newman ranch erupted into chaos. Victor stood near the fireplace as Nick entered with Sharon beside him. Victor's face darkened instantly when he saw Nick's injuries. "What happened?" Nick didn't answer immediately. Instead, he threw the soaked folder onto the table. Victor recognized it instantly, and Sharon noticed the flicker of guilt in his eyes. "You reopened Adam's psychiatric records?" she demanded. Victor remained cold. "I was protecting this family." Nick exploded. "By destroying him?" Victor's voice sharpened. "He attacked you, didn't he?" Nick looked away. That silence was enough. Victor nodded grimly. "Then I was right." "No!" Nick snapped. "You pushed him into this." Victor slammed his glass onto the table. "Adam is unstable." "He's paranoid because this family keeps treating him like a threat." Victor's face hardened further. "You sound naive." Nick stepped closer. "And you sound like the reason Adam keeps breaking." The room fell silent. Sharon watched both men carefully, because for the first time in years, Nick was standing against Victor completely. And Victor hated it. "You stole confidential files from my office," Victor growled. "Damn right I did." Victor's eyes narrowed dangerously. "You had no authority." Nick pointed toward the folder. "You were planning to use his mental health history against him in court." Victor didn't deny it. That silence said everything. Sharon looked horrified. "You would take Christian away from Adam?" Victor answered without emotion. "If necessary." Nick shook his head in disgust. "You never stop controlling people." Victor moved closer. "I protect this family because somebody has to." Nick's voice dropped low. "No, you control this family because you can't stand losing power." The tension became unbearable. But before Victor could answer, the front doors burst open. Adam had returned, soaked from rain, eyes burning with fury and pain. Every person in the room froze. Victor's expression turned immediately cold. "You've got nerve showing up here." Adam ignored him completely. Instead, he looked directly at Nick. Nick slowly stood. For a long moment, nobody spoke. Then Adam finally whispered, "You should have let security arrest me." Nick shook his head slightly. "That wouldn't solve anything." Victor interrupted harshly. "No, but removing you from this family might." Adam slowly turned toward his father, and the hatred between them became suffocating. "You really did it," Adam said quietly. "You reopened my records." Victor remained firm. "You've been unstable for weeks." Adam laughed bitterly. "Because I knew somebody was plotting against me." "You assaulted your brother. You manipulated him." Victor stepped forward. "I was trying to prevent exactly this." Adam's voice cracked with emotion. "You never believed in me." Victor's silence became the answer, and somehow, that hurt Adam more than anything else. Nick suddenly stepped between them. "Enough!" Victor glared at him. "Move." "No." Victor looked stunned. Nick rarely defied him openly, but tonight was different. "This family keeps tearing itself apart because nobody trusts each other," Nick said. "And you're making it worse." Victor's jaw tightened. "You're defending him after what he did to you." Nick looked toward Adam, then back at Victor. "I'm saying he needs help, not punishment." Adam's eyes filled with conflicted emotion, because despite everything, Nick still refused to abandon him. Sharon quietly approached Adam. "You scared me tonight." Adam swallowed hard. "I scared myself." The honesty in his voice changed the atmosphere instantly. Victor noticed it too, but he remained guarded. Adam slowly looked around the room, at the family he loved, the family he hated, the family he could never truly escape. "I don't know what's happening to me anymore," he admitted. Nick took a step closer. "Then let us help." Victor stayed silent. Adam looked directly at him. "But no more lies." Victor hesitated. For perhaps the first time in years, the great Victor Newman looked uncertain. Then quietly, almost reluctantly, he nodded. But peace inside the Newman family never lasted long. And upstairs, unseen by everyone below, a hidden phone recorded the entire confrontation from the staircase shadows. A mysterious figure stopped the recording, then smiled, because the Newman War was only beginning, and the next secret about to explode would destroy them all.